and welcome. Can you hear me, Mr. Scope? Can you hear me? I'm calling you. Yes, calling you. Authority is merely the first who is awake. The first who has risen early. The first prepared to take. And take and make. And take and make. And take and make again. Authority requires paper. And authority requires pens. Authority does not need uniforms. And authority does indeed care. Yet authority could need tables. And authority could need chairs. Yet authority with a presence. Some authority with a stare. Yet authority will only exist as long as you are there. A person calls themselves into a world where nothing can collide. If a person reveals themselves when others shake and hide, then a person announces what it is that drives on their abilities. When a person stops being a person and delivers their capabilities, what if a deadline is repeated? and the deadline echoed throughout the land. The distant deadline would become a warning. A mass deadline would be at hand. In a world of Western thinking, is anybody really alone? Or is a person really not a person when they do not answer a phone?
Remember always that you are just a visitor here, a traveler passing through. Your stay is but short and the moment of your departure unknown. Unless of course you are trying to get to Iceland. Yeah, trust me, I wouldn't be in a hurry to get there realistically when on Earth. You know something, they only introduced drinking beer legally there around 1991. And you wouldn't believe how much it cost. I mean, an audio cassette of music back then was like 30 kronas or whatever, which, I think, was something like around 4,000 meters in length. Have you ever tried getting music that size into an aeroplane, Mr. Scope? None can live without toil, and craft that provides your needs is a blessing indeed. Essentially, one that's leaving Iceland at some point, I guess. But if you toil without rest, fatigue and weariness will overtake you, and you will be denied the joy that comes from labor's end. So I guess loud and intense bumping and grinding only between 10 and 12 p.m. Yeah. Speak quietly and kindly and be not forward with either opinions or advice. Yeah, and stop breathing so loudly too. Why not? Hey! I mean, why not be mute? Mr. Scope. Backspace. You know, from where I am the Earth seems kind of interesting as an idea. Can't believe I'd get reborn there and all that would immediately happen again would be people telling me to be quiet all the time. If you talk much, this will make you deaf to what others say, and you should know that there are few so wise that they cannot learn from others. Be near when help is needed, but far when praise and thanks are being offered. Well, okay. That's kind of easy for me. Take small account of might, wealth and fame. Nouns after all. For they soon pass and are forgotten. Instead, nurture love within you and strive to be a friend to all. Except those guys that place plastic ballpoint pens on the seats of subways with messages on them and then expect some money for that. Can't you imagine introducing those guys to your family for a meal? Or just hanging out with them for a weekend? You know, like discussing how they arrived at the point of getting small ballpoint pens with messages printed on the side and thinking that people would only appreciate them on the subways of New York. Truly, compassion is a balm for many wounds. But I wouldn't suggest asking for any in Newark General Hospital to deal with a gunshot wound. Like you should have seen the floor in that place. Must have been gallons of blood everywhere and it was a Wednesday. Hope someone cleaned that mess up at some point. Treasure silence when you find it. While being mindful of your beauties, set time aside to be alone with yourself. So yeah, the reasons for getting married were what again exactly? Cast off pretense and self-deception and see yourself as you really are. Despite all appearances, no one is really evil. They are led astray by ignorance. You know what? That is a fascinating concept on Earth, isn't it, Mr. Scope? Good? Evil? You know, I met this lady once on Earth and she was actually so large she had borders around her. You needed to apply for a 3-month visa and get your passport stamped just to get past her. Gargantuan und not just, you know, physically big but more like a state. Kind of with her own currency und laws, you know, I mean that kind of size. Probably wore cargo shoes at the weekend, but maybe cargo shoes were even too small for that lady. If you ponder this truth always, you will offer more light, rather than blame and condemnation. You, no less than all beings, have Buddha nature within Mr. Scope. Your essential mind is pure. Therefore, when defilements cause you to stumble and fall, let not remorse nor dark foreboding cast you down. Be of good cheer, and with this understanding, summon strength and walk on. Faith is like a lamp, and wisdom makes the flame burn bright. Carry this lamp always, and in good time the darkness will yield and you will abide in the light. Of course, Mr. Scope, if you are determined to carry light, be sure to have a strong case. Don't bother carrying a lamp around Iceland in winter, however. I tried it once. Said it was art to the people there. They told me I looked like someone who had got dressed in the dark. Life is crunchy and goes like a bunny, Mr. Scope. I remembered a woman on Earth who had received the exact change of £9 and 11 pence after she had finished her shopping. And a packet of tall twin towels collapsed slowly to the floor. Could have been useful in Brooklyn, or even Manhattan, to clear up a mess in September.